Yeah,
Welcome to MotoGP Mac, where fans come to congregate and fanboys fear to tread. Getting better at that every time.
one of these days you will actually just get it like a little flow. So it's just like whoo, out it comes. Yeah, not too soon. Not one day, not too soon, I'd say.
No.
Anyway, I'd like to start this episode saying you're a fucking jinx. Absolute fucking jinx. 100% jinx.
Who's the jinx?
You.
What did I do now?
Marco Bezzecchi calls you a fucking jinx. 100%. No. They don't hurt themselves flat tracking.
Marco Bezzecchi, no, you're shitting me.
Yeah, Marco Bezzecchi on Saturday, which is yesterday, as we're filming this on the Sunday, fell at Valentino's ranch and is after breaking his collarbone and has got successful surgery today on it. So probably this is his championship done. You absolute fucking jinx.
I guess I did, yeah. But yeah. It was flat tracking or motocrossing?
Flat tracking, Valentino's ranch.
No, it wasn't flying through the air bullshit, right?
No, but I'd say he did fly somewhere. Yeah. You know what I mean? We all know that one when the ground rushes up and hits you in the face, you know?
No, you don't know what I'm talking about. Where flat tracking is when you hit, the bike sideways and you're going through the corner.
Valentino's ranch is flat track.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. His main training ground is flat track. So now it's all not like, hey, Paul, we're taking the left turn. There is a couple of right turns in this.
But yeah, I understand that, yeah.
But it is a flat track one. So he is a doubt for next weekend's race, and realistically, if he doesn't go to that, it's probably done for him.
Of course. Kevin Schwantz has won races with a broken collarbone. They stapled him together.
Yeah, I look. I don't think Pecco and Martin are very strong. You know what I mean? Going in there, he's probably best to rest up a week. That's probably his only way of saving his championship, is not to fucking rush at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, look, I suppose we've had the chat about Marc Marquez. We'll get into Digi's conversation in a while, but yeah. Augusto Fernandez is still in MotoGP for 2024.
Yeah, I saw that. I knew you'd be a happy boy with that one.
Yeah, I'm quite happy about it. To be fair, and to be honest, look, it's always sucks to see a rider get pushed out or get told what's another year and all of this stuff. But I think the whole ethos of the Tech 3 team was always to bring in young riders and whatever, right? And I think KTM did right and check their arse couldn't catch with show of the 5 riders. I think they were convinced they would have those 6 bikes on the grid.
Yeah.
And look, I think they've made the right choice. I think personally, Acosta and Fernandez will do exactly what Quadraro was saying about the old Yamaha team, where you 2 young guns who are going to go balls out for it. They're going to go 100% at it.
Oh yeah, more balls. And we have more balls than brains.
And they're going to try to push their way into that factory team. And what all that's going to do is raise that bar and whatever. And they're still governed by they're supposed to crash. You know what I mean? They're supposed to. This is the whole thing. Like Lorenzo came into MotoGP, he was super fast when he stayed on the bike his first couple of years. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And so for me, I do believe the ethos that they have it right. Do you know what I mean? They need to invest in these young guys. I do feel lousy for Pole. Do you know what I mean?
I would if but in his case, he's been around so long. He got a good run out of MotoGP. Let's face it.
He has. Look, yeah, and look, that's the other side. Like he's had a good few years. He was the prodigy for Yamaha, and it didn't work out. So I do I do think it's still probably a shit way to go. Like Pol Espargaro probably found out the same time the rest of the world found out that he was stepping aside.
Yeah.
You know, and unfortunately, we all remember Daniele Petrucci. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
That he found out during FP3 that he was.
Yes. Sorry to hear about
what? Yeah. It came up on the banner at the bottom of the screen, and he looked as confused as fucking everyone else. But anyway, yeah. Look, I think it's right. I think it's probably the right choice. Now, my understanding is Polo Espargaro will be doing a test rider and wild cards as well, and probably looking to the future. Danny's getting old now, like, do you know what I mean? So they need to start looking at who could be there. Like Paul is
he's what, 37 now?
Yeah, so he's got Danny's around 37. Paul is not. He's still within that second, I believe. So when he's fit and healthy,
right,
he's within that second. He'd probably make the ideal test rider for them. He understands the DNA of the bike from day dot. Do you know what I mean? So, I think that's kind of going to be more his role. You remember next year they're talking that there'll be 6 wildcard races.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be interesting to see where things go on that. DG Delinea, I thought it was a really funny interview that he came out with. Very keen to emphasize about Mark coming to Ducati that this is on a Gresini contract.
Yeah.
And I thought it was very, very, very weird.
I think they were holding this. See, I'm the opposite as you. I think they were holding their cards because the guy's too dangerous. He's too dangerous. He's too good. If he'd have jumped on the KTM, he went on a KTM. You know, if you jumped on a, he would have went on a Aprilia.
I very much, not that I don't think that he'll win on any kind of manufacturers, but there was someone in the reporters and turned around and said that he was supposed to be offered a 2-year deal on Pramac, and I can tell you that's a load of horse shit anyway for one. And the reason I do know this is Prima, who are the main sponsors of Pramac Ducati.
Yeah,
they wanted an Italian rider on their bike.
I heard that.
On that bike.
Yeah,
and that's why it was between Bisecchi and Morbidelli. So there was no way that was a 2-year contract for Marquez. And to be fair and to be very fucking honest, right?
Yeah.
Offering Marquez a 2-year contract in a factory thing that will put him out of sync with others, that's just fucking stupid. You know, no one is going to go for that.
Yeah.
So I mean, no, right? Even a rider now that is like, if you turned around to Quartararo now and tried to offer him a 2-year contract, that he'd be out of sync with everyone else on a racing bike, he'd say no. Do you know what I mean? Because like at the end of the day, he needs to keep his they need to be able to keep their options open.
And Crafar, by the way, said, and they must be listening to us. Crafar said he thought that Marquez wanted to be with a brother and wanted to be in a calm team. He wanted to show up, ride, go home. You know, he didn't want to have the pressure anymore.
I don't know, though. You know that famous saying, "A leopard never changes its spots." I
know, but he might. But I think in his head he did.
But like he's going to go in there. I know this is just
like, so you want to be a family man, then you get married, then you sew and screw everything in town. You know, when you first got married, you thought you were going to be good. Okay, you had all the best.
It's always good.
Yeah.
No, but like I actually think the opposite, right? And like, I'll go back to what I said at day one, is that like Gigi in his interview that he just recently gave, right, that I spoke of, he made it very clear that Ducati have nothing to do with Marquez coming. The only stipulation that they're putting in, which is something we talked about, was that none of his crew can come with him. So you talked last week about they can't bring he can't bring Santi Hernandez with him, who has been his crew chief all the time he's in MotoGP.
Right.
That's a fucking major loss for Marc Marquez. Major. Like.
I don't know. For a rider, I don't think it's that much of a loss.
I don't know. I think Rossi was never the same without Burgess.
I don't. I think what the hell, he got better after Burgess. Yeah, he did.
No, he didn't.
He did too. I mean, you look at when he came back with Burgess, and then he was flopping around with Burgess, and then he got another.
No, 15. He came back with Burgess in 15. He did 15, 16. Okay, I think he took one win in 17. Burgess was gone.
Yeah,
sure he just fucking was tail end Charlie for the next fucking whatever amount of seasons.
Yeah, but
you said it to me. Remember this though, Jake? You said it to me. This guy is a creature of habit. He does not like change. He can't.
No, he does not. He
cannot bring any of his engineers over from Honda. So all these people. And
in his case, I'll give it to you there. Yes, he is a freak of change.
But look, I still reckon this is just, and I just still reckon that this is just a 1 year stopgap, that he is going to another manufacturer, and Ducati are very, very denied to it.
I don't get that. I think he's just doing that because he's, like I said, a creature of habit. And he wants to, it's calming for him. Which one? So his brother's holding his hand. You can't imagine that with some grown man, but Alex is holding his hand. Once he starts to feel calm there, he'll win some races and he'll stay. That's it. He needs to settle in.
I still believe that pre-contract for KTM is signed. That's my personal opinion on it.
Yeah, I think that's a rumor. Because listen, why would you go to a lesser bike? I have nothing against KTM whatsoever. Right? Now KTM's good, but it's not as good as the Ducati. Why would you go with a lesser bike? Unless they're holding cards that we don't know about.
So KTM have said 2024 is their year. They're expecting to fight for the championship in 2024, and that came from KTM and Crafar's mouth, right? So they're already expecting Tabara to be there, and I think what they were hoping, part of that 2024 thing that they came out in and around the time of they were getting the 6 bikes on the grid, is that they would have little Mickey Marquez on the fucking bike, right? That's the final part. That's the alien bit that they're missing, right? And I think that's one of the reasons why. The second reason why, I think, if next year Marquez does get on the Ducati and does win the championship, right, he'll have equaled Rossi's championships, I think, isn't it? Is it 8 or 9? I can't remember. I think he's on. He needs to, right? But then, if he went to KTM and he won it, not only would he beat Rossi in World Championships 1,
yeah, I know you were going to say,
he would beat them on the amount of manufacturers that he did it.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of. What you just said, he had more manufacturers, but
and more titles. Remember that.
One, he doesn't like change, so that's a hell of a thing for him to change. Go to another manufacturer where his brother's not there. Okay, nobody's holding his hand. Right? And go to a lesser. As far as we know, a lesser bike.
I will go to you on this, because something you just said about getting married. You think life is going to be great, right? So you get out of one long-term relationship, right?
Yeah,
and have a little bit of a fling in the second one. So it's always going to be short-term. Your next one, and then you might get settled down again. So. Look, it's for me, it's one of these things that I don't know. I think I find it interesting, but I also
bike. He's gonna go on there. He's gonna give that bike a big hug because he's never been on a good bike in his life. I'm not even being nasty. I'm being realistic.
Look, I don't know. Look, and look, this is just me. He goes there, he wins on a Ducati, and everyone's just going to turn around and say, "Well, it's the bike."
No, nobody's going to say that.
100%.
Oh, the fanboy. Well, maybe the fanboys behind the fanboys.
100%. Look, listen, 100% they're going to turn around and say it, right? Because they're already saying it about Pecco, or they're already saying it about Jorge Martin. Well, it's easy to win if you have the best bike.
Well, Honda fanboys, they're never-ending.
But no, you see, like they won't have any interest in Marc Marquez now because he's gone. If they're going to be loyal to their brand, so it'll be interesting to see how many fanboys.
Yes, I thought that too.
To the fan. But yeah, look, I just think it was interesting. I really thought it was interesting, and there was a part in Gigi's statement where he made about managing the riders, right? And Gigi was very clear on it. Like he's like, we have our own pool of champions already, and this is the other thing. Mark has maybe 2 or 3 good years left in them. Do you know what I mean? Before that fucking age thing starts kicking in, and you start wondering, is this really for me? Or, you know, his girlfriend who they're putting out, so like cute Instagram pictures of like hi with starts to kick in, right? And I just think and that's why I don't think Ducati are or any team actually. I don't think they're like they'd love to have Marquez. Like fuck it, Aprilia would definitely love to have him. KTM would definitely love to have. I don't believe Ducati are pushed about him. I just think. And there was a line in Gigi's thing, and he said, "I like to have fast riders ride my bike." And he was very, and I just thought that line was like, "I'm the reason why you're world champion. You're riding my bike."
Well, we always said Ducati is not going to put up with Marquez playing manager.
Oh no, and that's what they have. Like Gigi. Like Gigi looks like and appears to be a very sound guy, but I'd say fuck with Gigi and look at Dovizioso. Do you know what I mean? Everything was going swimmingly until you pissed Gigi off, and then that's the fucking end.
Anybody would drive has temper. One goes with the other. Human nature.
So yeah, look, I just think it's going to be interesting. I can't wait to see Mark on it. Like, I genuinely can't wait to see it because there's a number of things I wanted to see. I wanted to see how his style will fit the Ducati. You know, I think he has to change style an awful lot. If he gets onto it and try to ride it like a Honda, try to push it past its thing, I think we'll see a crash fest again from Mark. So I can't wait to see him.
You know what you're going to see? Because I'm an out age here. Freddie Spencer, the Honda's only bike that they ever really good handling bike, the NS 500 V3, and Freddie Spencer on it was a good ride, the good handling bike and the best rider, right? Mm-hmm. And he was as fast as Marquez. It was unbelievable how he used to drift through those corners. It was an art, really. That's what you're going to see. He won't crash. I don't know. I say he won't crash, but he's no way near going to crash like he did before.
Well, look, okay, look, he's. I don't think he's going to be himself and his teammates in Gresini are not going to hit 38 crashes by 10 or 12 races into the season. No, but I think 38 between himself and Mir.
You're shitting me. Oh my God.
No, that gives you the extent of the problem, but yeah, look, I just think it will be interesting to see how he adapts his style to that bike. And yeah, and look, that people can say yes or no or whatever, and agree or disagree with me. I don't see any Ducati rider riding a bike anywhere near the way Mark does.
No.
So I think. No, and I'm not saying it can't change. Like if you look at the evolution of how Valentino Rossi changed his style to suit bikes, it can be done. But I think the Ducati personally, like the Aprilia, needs to be in line. And what I mean is that the wheels are in line. Yeah. You know what I mean? It doesn't like fucking spinning up the fucking rear wheel and whatever. And Marquez tends to do that. Now, is that just a Honda related thing?
No, that's his style.
And yeah, and then how is the rear tire going to get on with that? You know what I mean? So again, I think it will be pretty interesting to see how he does it.
You know what makes me smile when you said it the other day? You know, I had to chuckle when you said you were talking about KTM and they wanted the 6 bikes.
Mm.
Can you see Espinosa when he's going to go into KTM now and go, hey, you know, we were talking about them concessions. You're going to get that little speck out of here.
yeah.
Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, I think, yeah. Can you imagine it? Or they go into him and say, here's the 2 spots. Sure, look, we might as well fill them for the next 2 years. That would really piss them off, to be fair. Yeah, look, I think we're going to see. Yeah, we've Mandalika now this week as well.
Yes,
coming up.
You never know with Mandalika.
Oh Jesus, yeah. It's a rider killer, and like it's the first of I think it's the first of a triple header as well. So it's like it's kind of, I suppose, the approach that you need to have now is coming into it is like you have 3 races on the bounce. I think it's Indonesia. Is it Indonesia? Oh, I'll have to look at the calendar there, but I think
we went to Indonesia already.
Or sorry, is it in Indonesia? I think it's Indonesia.
Weren't we just at Indonesia, or are we going back to it?
No, that was India.
Oh, excuse me.
I think it's Indonesia.
Yeah, you could be right there. Yes.
Yeah, so it's Indonesia. Yeah, Indonesia in the Mandalika. And then it is the Australian, and then the Thai Grand Prix. Yeah, so we have 3 on the bounce. Is it 3 on the bounce? No, we have. So this weekend coming up, yeah, we 3 on the bounce. So 15th, Sunday the 15th is the main race for Indonesia.
And for those people who think that they fixed it at Mandalika, they thought the same thing last year with MotoGP because World Superbike, they said they had fixed it the year before, but when they showed up, it was a mess. It was coming apart. So we don't really know how well they put it together.
Yeah, look, I guess we'll wait and see. But yeah, so the last 6 races are triple headers. So we have Indonesia, Australia, Thailand. Then we kind of like have a 2-week break, and then we have Malaysia, Qatar, and Valencia for the final round. So yeah, like it's really going to be about survival. Survival of the fittest, I suppose. Literally, go as fast as you can, don't fall off, and don't hurt yourself. How hard can that be?
Yeah.
How hard can that be?
It only has 300 horsepower, with 300 pounds.
Yeah. So I suppose when we talk about the injury for Marco Bezzecchi, couldn't come at a worse time. Okay, what's a collarbone for the normal person? 6 weeks?
Yeah. So you'll figure
2 weeks.
Yeah, they'll pin it together.
They'll pin it. I would say that we'd see him in Australia, being honest.
Well, it's a common break. It's not like you haven't seen this before.
If you had to have surgery on it, though.
If they're pinning it, they consider that surgery. So
we wait and see. Like things aren't at the time of shooting this. Things aren't out there. But yeah, I think it's pretty interesting. And Martin was talking as well about. And I know people are out there saying all about team orders and all of this bullshit and that bullshit.
That's bullshit, folks. Yeah, that it is.
Look, I don't think. I do think there would be team orders, and I think the reason why team orders last year was, and I won't say it was team orders, but they were like, don't fucking take them out.
Don't take them out. No, that's right? Yeah,
and that's fair enough, right? Because there's another manufacturer involved. Right. Last year there was Yamaha, right? And if 2 Ducatis, let's just say, who was it, Iannone and Vizioso, decide to take each other out and lose all the points, then that's not good for the championship and whatever. I don't really necessarily think that's team orders if they're saying don't pass them don't risk it. Do you know what I mean? For me, that's not a team order. That's a bit sent. If you could pass them on the straight line and pass them on the straight, by all means. If you're passing them into a wet corner, don't even fucking try it. Do you know what I mean? Because you could crash, right?
Right.
Whereas I think this year will be very different. Firstly, I don't think Jorge Martin would listen anyway, right? That's
right.
1, right? Fuck that. 2, a Ducati is going to win. And that's all they care for the brand.
Yes.
Is it the factory team or is it the thing? I don't think it makes a difference either because they're both level on equipment now, and they've been very open with that they are GP.
They have the advertising for the brand or whatever. It just says Ducati. It's Bagnaia Ducati Martin Ducati. They wanted to say Ducati. Okay,
that's all. Yeah.
One might be better than the other. I'll give him that. Okay, because they're much cooler. But
where I would think maybe something will come in a team order is that if a 22 bike was going to win and beat the shit out of the 23 bikes, I'd be like, they go backwards. So that
You're right.
That'd be kind of a little bit of a publicity thing or a negative. And oops, yeah, exactly. But I don't necessarily. Well, obviously, I don't really see it happening now with Bez being injured. But I think the next 3 races, it's going to be a race of attrition, a race of who stays on the bike and keeps themselves safe. And this is one of the things I always wondered with MotoGP. How many races do you go before having a crash? Martin is flying right now.
Right.
One fucking tumble. You know what I mean? And
he used a lot of lean angle. I mean, a ton. And that's when it starts getting when you start riding that edge at the 60, 62 degrees, that's when you can go off at any time.
And spectacular.
It's not like you're making a mistake. You're just running out of traction.
Yeah. And look, that's kind of the thing. And I always look at where do you want to have your crashes? I can tell you don't want to have your crashes in the last 3 or 4 races of the season. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Look, I'm really interested to see how things go down. I still think there's a twist in this championship. I still think there's one to come. I think we saw one of the twists in Catalonia, in my opinion. That was, in my view, a 50-50 way of Pecco was either going to break his leg in that time and be out for the championship, or he was going to get away with it and just be injured for a couple of races. I can't wait to see how things go. Is there going to be a twist? Is Pecco just kind of saying, I can't beat this guy? Which I don't think. I don't think. And is Martin going to cope with the pressure? Like, if Martin gets into the championship lead, which in all fairness, I would probably expect after the sprint race next weekend. And the reason I say that is Mandalika and Phillip Island, they're 2 circuits you definitely do not want to crash at. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like going through the hay shed or going into Honda turn there, like if you lose it on the turn, you're going to get fucking face planted. Do you know what I mean? Or the hay shed or down into the...
Which one's Honda turn?
Huh? The hairpin.
Is that where they named that after when Marquez did his dive?
No. It's always known as, or no, it's the Miller turn now. I think it could be. I can't remember, but it's definitely those are 2 racetracks I would definitely not like to crash at. So for me, I would have a feeling that Bagnaia will be a little bit cautious after especially I genuinely believe that he doesn't have the trust in the bike.
Hey, do you think that Martin jumped up to his raw speed?
I think it's confidence. I think it's more so than confidence than anything. I do know that he has
the perfect body for racing. He has the optimum body for he has the short, squat, big shoulders for his size. Only 5'6" or something like that. That's the optimum body style for road racing.
Yeah, well, looks like he's as strong as a fucking ox, right? He bounces fairly well, but I think last year he lost an awful lot of confidence, especially after the decision was made with Bastianini. Right, this year I think he's come out in a proper manner. He's come out fit, healthy, and a strong mindset to say, "I'm going to fucking show them they made the wrong decision."
Yeah,
which is great, So there's also drive, and now the confidence is coming up. But as we know, with confidence, it can go like that. Do you know what I mean? And like
especially if he came out and thought, I got nothing to lose.
He has nothing to lose. Yeah. Yeah. Pecco is
this year he came out and said, I got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
You know, because if you fall all of a sudden, or you get ahead, and then you do have something to lose, then it gets into your mindset.
Yeah, and look, I suppose the other side of the coin is, and we saw this last year, it's much more difficult to be the championship leader when the points are close than the person that is being the hunter or chasing. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And I think it will be very interesting to see what will happen if Jorge Martin does get into that position where he is now the hunted. Do you know?
Yeah.
Because the pressure then switches. It switches off Pecco, do you know what I mean, to say, well, I've lost the lead of the championship. Do you know what I mean? The expectation now is coming on Jorge Martin to keep continuously delivering. And I still go back and say that I believe Pecco has lost an awful lot of confidence in the front end and the brakes, and how the mechanical grip goes through the tires. You could see it in the last race. He was as fast as Martin, but it took him a number of laps to build the pace. So for me, there's definitely a psychological barrier going on with himself and the bike. But then saying that, look, I have no doubt. I have no doubt that they're not sleeping either in Ducati to try and figure out that data. What's wrong? Why isn't it done? And I'm sure when, like, for example, when they get to wherever, the Thai Grand Prix, I think he'll be at full chat then. Do you know what I mean? But
yeah,
fucking next two Grand Prix, definitely don't want to crash on those. So
I'm still waiting for my boy Fabio to come up and do something. Then Mandalika have isn't that a Yamaha track? If I'm not mistaken.
It has a number of turns, but I don't know. I try not to raise my expectations anymore. I hope that they have a good race, and then it turns out to be clusterfuck.
Yeah, who's gonna get the wooden spoon this year?
Who's gonna get the wooden spoon? I'd say it'd be Mir.
Yeah,
Mir. I'd say fucking hell, yeah.
Oh, I thought that must be the manufacturer, the wooden spoon.
Honda. Honda, yeah. Well,
okay.
Well, like it is Pramac that's leading the team's championship.
Yeah.
So,
and who's at the bottom for the manufacturers?
I'll check there now. World standings.
That's what I thought. I thought there was who got the lowest on the manufacturers.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That's what got. I thought that's who I thought got the wooden spoon. It wasn't a rider.
Oh, we can give it to a rider too.
No, okay. He got forked.
Yeah. 1 second there now. So Yamaha actually are going to have the wooden spoon. I'd reckon. Imagine that. Well, look, that's kind of well, they only have two bikes anyway, right? But they're currently on 131 points.
And what's a Honda?
Close your eyes and close your ears, Honda fans. They're on 142.
Jesus.
Right, and to say that in the past two rounds they've scored what? 37 of those 142 points.
Yeah, there goes them fanboy tears coming down.
Yeah. Teams championships, wooden spoon. You ready?
Yeah.
Repsol Honda. Yeah. They're 4 points behind Gas KTM. They're 14 points behind LCR. I can tell you they're 394 points behind Pramac.
Jeez. And you know what? The other podcasts, the reputable ones, are copying us now. They're saying, "Hey, this will be good for Honda and Yamaha if they don't have a without not having an alien rider. If they just rely on making a good bike instead of relying on the rider skills.
But yeah, look, it's still pretty shocking to see, and I actually find it very funny that Pramac are in first position for the teams, then VR46, then the Ducati factory team.
Yeah, well, I thought the factory team. No, because they is
yeah, Bastianini is the
NIA rider.
Yeah. Now I did hear that Lynn Jarvis has come out and said that Yamaha have never asked for more concessions or anything like this, but they all they would really be asking for is more tires for testing, and more testing, obviously. But
I think everybody should have more testing, but that's me.
Look, you're right. No racing team would ever turn down more testing and whatever. But I think they're always going to be doing it within a restricted way, shape, or form. But like, I think Yamaha are going to roll into the next year as well with the same fucking problems. Like, they are going to have no factory, or sorry, they have a factory team, but they'll have no satellite team for 2024, which means they rely on 2 bikes data. Same fucking thing.
EQ has been he was, I know it's a bad mouth guys, but he's been rough. He's been blaming the riders. Does Mark lost his magic? Says Fabio lost it? I don't say it. I think it's just a bike.
I don't know, and I'd say what he's probably going on there about is not their talent, because like I don't think any of them, but have they lost their spark and they lost their love of it? Do you know what I mean? Like, it must be. Like, imagine now going into work every day. Well, not obviously, but like these guys, when they're born different, right? They like. They'd raise 2 flies up a fucking wall, like, do you know what I mean? And like, do you know what I mean? It's just a natural thing of being uber super competitive and always having to win, always having to be first. Fucking tantrums if you like, it's a terrible way to live. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's like someone cuts you off in a fucking shopping line and for your groceries, and you're getting fucking pandemonium and upset and tantrums. Do you know what I mean?
Well, everybody does that.
Really, I can leave the money in my bank account for another few minutes. I'm happy. Do you know what I mean? But I suppose there comes a point in your racing where you stop really enjoying going to, like, when a racing driver says we need more power. Yeah, you need more power, but you need to fucking adapt the bike to handle that power too. Do you know what I mean? You can't just go like, okay, like that famous saying, like a space shuttle's about to take off, and someone says to the head engineer, "Jesus, I hope they get back safe."
Yeah,
and the engineer's like, never said anything about getting back.
Yeah,
you said build me a rocket to get into space. You know, and it's like, but again, there's always that saying, "Be careful what you wish for." I think Fabio did get his more power this year, and but they did. Or couldn't fix the chassis problems, and I don't know.
But that's the norm. You and I both know that it's the norm. When you add power, it screws up the handling.
Yeah, but I think we always say that Yamaha's strength is in the chassis, right? And
right.
Here they added more power, but they didn't seem to get it right for the chassis, right? And if you look at it this year, right, we will look at the Riders Championship scores this year. Where is Mr. Quartararo? 111 points.
Oh, and they are having reliability problems too. I knew that was going to come.
111 points is what Fabio Quartararo has this year, right?
Right.
And if we look at 2022, he had 248 at the end of 2022. Okay. Now double the fucking races, or 1.5 the points. So, like, if you look at it, right, if you put on like Pecco scored last year 265 points, right? So if you put on another 130 points onto that, right? For the points available for the sprint, okay? Like Pecco and Martin aren't having a fucking bad year, but Quartararo, like Pecco and Martin are at like 319 and 316 points. Fabio Quartararo is on 111. Like that's a fucking serious thing.
Yeah.
And I think that's where I think, not to defend them, because I don't listen to their podcasts. I don't listen to anyone's podcasts.
Yeah, I
know. But it's just, I think the question more so is, because I would be like that too. You know what I mean? I've asked for more power. You gave me more power, but you didn't fucking think of the other things. I look at my position in the championship. I've scored a fucking quarter of the fucking, or less than half of the points that I did totally in the previous season, with extra races this season and sprint races. Like, what have you fucking done to me? Do you know? And I always remember at the end, remember I watched the kind of the season recap and whatever. And Lynn Jarvis told Fabio Quartararo in the pit the day he lost the championship in Valencia, and he said, "We always look forward, not backwards."
Right.
Now they've gone fucking backwards. Do you know what I mean?
They just don't see it.
Yeah, and it's just now. Look, he sees it. Like Lynn Jarvis is not a stupid man.
No, they're not.
But it's like when I look at it like that, you can see that it would take someone's spark. Do you know what I mean? And Fabio's turning up to races, unlike last year where he had a chance or an opportunity of winning it.
No.
And now he's saying to himself, "Will I get in the top 10?"
Yeah. Yeah. And he's young. You know what I mean? Yeah. There's a difference when you're 30, okay, and things fall off, and then when you're 20 something and it falls off. Whenever that youth and bravado turns into anger, and you go, "Why am I not? At the top?" That's when he comes storming into the pits.
That's it, and like that's where like at the end of the day, I have no doubt that Quartararo believes that Yamaha are making him look stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And Marquez said it very right too, that quite recently he's like, I would have loved to have been in Valentino Rossi's head for the last couple of seasons that he was riding MotoGP, because it was so fucking difficult.
Yeah, he said, how could he do it? That was a big tip off, by the way. How could he do it? How could he sit there and not finish behind less than top 10?
And be fucking celebrating a top 10 as like it was a win.
Yeah,
those, for people of that stature, it's and like I've always thought about this, like even when Schumacher returned, like these guys, in my view, have nothing left to prove. Rossi had nothing at all left to prove. Do you know what I mean?
No.
He just fucking loved racing, which is fine. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah,
and it's fine, but it's like for me, it was very hard watching Rossi, especially the last 2 or 3 years. You're just like, and that trend becomes a lifestyle then, I suppose. Do you know what I mean? Because then like Rossi went from fucking slamming his fist on the table saying, "Give me a fucking bike that works," right?
Yeah.
To accepting and celebrating a fucking 10th place as if it was the best thing in the fucking world. And that's where I think so. And I think in the last years,
fine. That's fine if he's up for it. If he's into it, and it's a waste of a good seat, a good factory seat. I mean, I could see him doing that if he was on some Joe Blow's bike. But
it was even clear, right? Even fucking clear, like when Rossi moved to Petronas Racing. Rossi wasn't ready to leave go of racing. Do you know what I mean? That's why he accepted it. And my also thing now is like, what is going to happen between the 23 bike and the 24 bike next year? Like the ECU changes that's coming up. So there is going to be, like, is there going to be a big difference?
I now I'm reading this, but I'll take it with a grain of salt because it didn't make sense. They said the factory might allow the 24 ECU into the 23 bike.
They can't. No.
That's what I thought. I thought when you do that, that changes the entire electrical system.
The bike is homologated to that spec. Yeah.
Right.
And I don't think they'll allow the new 24 ECU into it. And apparently there is advantages coming with the new ECU. So it will be fairly interesting to see what goes on there. But it's.
Hey, I wonder if they're sneaking active suspension back in and trying to save face.
No, they're not sneaking active suspension back in.
Oh, that would. I mean, that would be smart. You want safety?
It's a regulation. They can't just fucking sneak it
or unban the goddamn thing. You know what I mean?
It is banned and it's not banned. It is banned, and that's why I say they couldn't sneak it back in, right? Because they'd have to change the regulation. I think there is something within the regulation that the things can't be electronically controlled. So that's like
I know. What I'm saying is they don't announce it and they unban it and put it in the.
I know they couldn't do that because even if they had all teams agree that it was so that they would let it run and slide and you could do it.
Yeah,
it would just take one team that was sour grapes.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
and officially protest.
Yeah, true.
So look, I don't think it would ever happen. If I'm very honest, look, it needs a regulation change to allow the electronic thing of I'll call it electronic interference with the mechanical parts. Like you see it with the rear right height system. You know, they have to manually physically engage that before it re-engages out of the corner. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's actually very funny when you watch, like, Ducati arm it on the way into the corner.
Yep.
Aprilia arm it in the middle of the corner. Do you know what I mean? So if you start watching,
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
no, I didn't know. No,
it's in the middle.
I just went on the assumption that they all would use, on the same spot. If it changes the traction and changes the variant, they don't want to have the variant changed at the same area.
No.
If you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I would assumed they all did it. But no. And also, Pecco was using the start system in the thing in the Indian Grand Prix and the last Grand Prix.
He was
100%. Have a picture of his handlebar from the races.
Okay,
so I can see the device on the handlebar. So he was using, and I know someone in the chat said that he wasn't. He was using it 100%. He just made it balls.
Well, supposedly it works very well, but I didn't know if that's a side effect or somebody was talking about. Going into the corner, it was not working, making it bounce or something of that nature. Rear end bounce.
Yeah. There is something weird. And I was trying to look at replays, and I couldn't see what Danny was seeing. But I'll take Danny's word for it. He was fucking well closer to it than I was.
Right. Yeah.
Also, one of the stories coming out, obviously, with Mark bailing out of Honda, there is who's going to replace him.
And Poog is Poog staying. I heard Poog was getting the boot.
Pooch, yeah, Pooch is getting. I think he's getting the boot. So you've Davide Brivio. It's either Bravio or Brivio, I think. Anyway, I think he'd be really good. I think he'd be a good addition. I really think he'd be a good addition. He's very much so about the riders, and I think that change is necessary.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
He's very much.
He's supposed to be very an independent guy. Like, he runs a tight ship.
Yeah, but it's about the riders, though. It's very much so about the riders. Like, if you look at the downturn of Suzuki,
right,
you can put it in line when he fucking left. Like,
you know what I mean? I'll totally agree with you. Is he good? Yes. Is that the way to go? Yes. But if you have somebody who's very independent and good, and then you have a corporation that says you do it our way.
But I think
But I
think personally, HRC are on their knees now trying to get it. Like Gigi turned them down this year, or it was either this year or last year.
Yeah,
that Gigi turned them down. Right? There's Davide Rivio that is there. They're talking to Rivola. Like Pooch has to see the writings on the fucking door now. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
Rivola told him no too, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Well, look, Rivola didn't comment on it, which I always find very interesting. Like, he didn't come out straight away as soon as that article was written and say, "No, my allegiance is directly to Aprilia and Aprilia only." Right? So look, I think there could be conversations with a load of team managers, right? Because I think, and this is where I think your man Davide is top of the pile, is that he was already used to working with Japanese mindsets,
right?
Right. But Suzuki gave him the reins, and I think he would be going in there and saying, "I take this on, but I run it my way. And my way is the European way, or it's whatever it is, and blah 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 blah. And I'm not doing it unless you agree." And I think so. Like, I think he's favorite. I think he's gone from Alpine Formula One team now. He wasn't enjoying it there at all. So I think this could be a really
he's
good
unemployed right now. Not mistaken.
Yeah, I think he is. Well, these guys are never unemployed. Like you look at Livio Supo. He's doing some electric bike thing. He's happy. He's happy out doing, not an electric motorbike, electric pedal bike, I think. So look, these guys are never really unemployed, but they're taking some time away from the limelight. But I genuinely think it'll be good. But I think there's a fight brewing though between HRC and LCR, and this could be a very interesting fight. Because it makes normal and natural sense that if Mark goes, they need to put someone good on the Repsol, right? They can't just bring in a fucking rookie and put him on the Repsol. Their flagship team, they can't. They just fucking can't, right? So the one that makes most sense to me is that they would take Zarco out of LCR and put it in. Cecchinello, anyway, is after releasing a statement and saying, no, Zarco will not be going to Repsol Honda team. He has a contract with us. End of story.
Really?
Yeah. And that's very punchy for Luca Cecchinello, in my view. Do you know what I mean? So I'd say someone has contacted him already from Japan. And he's like, no. A few Bob will talk. Do you know what I mean?
Because he signed with. Is he signed with LCR? Or is he signed right
till the end of next year?
He signed with LCR, not Honda.
Yeah, he signed with LCR, but on a Honda contract. I thought it was a Works Honda contract.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
So, but I don't know. I think it's going to be pretty interesting to see what happens there.
I just have this vision of somebody walking in there like the Michelin Man, all wrapped up, getting on the bike. Help me.
Help me.
Don't make me go.
Yeah. I bought 20 million in shares in Johnson & Johnson. Yeah. But yeah, look, I think the next few weeks are going to be very interesting to get an understanding of what is going to happen. Will Pecco, in my view, get around the issues that he's having? Will Martin stay consistent? Like if he goes to a track and he doesn't get on well there, how is the mindset going to be? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's neat watching those two because their styles are so different. Their lines, Mm-hmm. I'm always thinking that Pecco is going to take the front end of Martin right out because he wants to make that sweep and the other one's making it sharp. So you always think, "Whoa, shit, he's going to catch him."
Yeah. I would love actually. I might see if I can find some images, especially around Sepang, and watch the entry line, because I actually think Morbidelli could fly on the Ducati.
Did you hit your head?
I thought I did hit my head.
Low doorway in their house or something?
And here is why. So Morbidelli is not an aggressive rider, right? He rides the exact same way as Rossi in stylistically. Do you know what I mean? The way he enters the corner, mid-corner,
right.
Exit the corner. And the more I watch Pecco, the more I see Pecco moving to that sort of riding style within. Now, I started spotting this last year in Argentina when I told you to start watching through the corner, the last section of it. You can see the differences in the lines that Pecco takes on especially on exit of the corners. That it was always wider, throw on a faster, higher speed line, the inline 4 line. And I think next year Morbidelli could possibly bring that to Ducati. And I think that's going to be very fast if he does. He's going to ride the V4 like an inline 4. Same as Rins. Because Rins is fast as Honda. Don't care what anyone says.
Yeah.
But he's riding it like an inline 4. So I think, so next year when I look at it, I think it'll be interesting to see what Morbidelli does in it. But I think Pecco's lines are more inline 4. So I think it'll be interesting. And that's why himself and Martin's lines are so different, but it's so interesting because it's a complete different way of riding it.
Yeah,
from each other.
But I think Pooch is going to stay. I don't think.
I think so. I think they'll dump him.
Huh?
If they get Bravio or whomever in there. One sec. Marco Basecchi. Thank you to the doctor and his team. I'll be back soon.
Screw you, Jake.
Yeah. P.S. Jake, you are a fucker. Yes. Fucking. I did hurt myself flag tracking. See? I did the impossible, what you said. Yeah, but look, I think we're going to be spoiled for the next 3 weeks. They're nice time races for you, and they're fucking balls for me. I think they're like 4 a.m. races for me, which is like 11 p.m. for you.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
The only problem is when they do that, when they have it all across the world, they get it wrong on the timing. Like you got to keep going back. Is it on yet? Is it on yet? Is it on? Yeah.
Well, sucks to be you, but at least you hadn't even gone to fucking bed. I'm trying to wake up out of bed, and I'm trying to watch it, and I'm like, what am I even going to fucking say in 5 minutes? I'm not even awake. Welcome. Here's the but no, look, I am looking forward to Mandalika. It's probably one of the tracks that scares me the most, especially how Mark flew the last time there.
I just hope it's not as hot as India.
Yeah, and we get robbed of a few more laps. But anyway, sure. Look, I think we'll wrap it up there for this week. It is race week. Pick a winner for. Let's go for Sunday because Saturday is could be anyone.
I'm going to go. Martin's on a roll. I'm just going to go with Martin all the way across.
All right, I'll go for Becker. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Right, and on that bombshell, we will end today's one, and sure, we'll see you again.
You didn't pick anything. You're going to go with Martin too?
I said Pecco. You go Martin, I'll go Pecco. Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Anyway, all right, and sure, we'll see you all next week.
Hasta la vista, folks.
Cheers.